What's going on, everybody? So in this video, we are going to be talking about what's going on in the NFT market. We got some new NFT metas catching fire, some up and coming projects by the biggest luxury brands, and a rumor that Amazon is entering NFTs. First thing we got to cover is what's going on in the crypto markets when it comes to the coins. As you can see, Ethereum is basically holding at that 1.6 level. So kind of positive for the space that Ethereum is so high, but at the same time, you got to be very careful because as quickly as things go up, they may go down. And so if you look at the past month, it pumped all the way from 1.2 all the way from 1.6, which in my personal opinion during this economic time is a bit unnatural. So definitely want to keep that in mind and be very aware of your entry and exit if you are buying Ethereum. So the first piece of news that we have for you today is that Tiffany and Co recently just announced a collaboration with Nike. So it's going to be a legendary pair of sneakers. What exactly will this be? Will it be connected to Artifact? Will it be related to NFTs at all? It remains to be seen, but we definitely see a lot of NFT people, I can definitely see in the comments, commenting on this. So there's definitely a lot of speculation around this, especially because Tiffany and Co has done the pendant with the punks before. Nike obviously owns Artifact. People are anticipating that this is going to be a pretty hot drop. Now, when we go back in history, if you're into sneakers at all, there was basically this Diamond Supply company, which is a streetwear brand that did a collaboration with Nike skateboarding. It was like nicknamed Tiffany Dunks, right? Because of the color of the blue. And then Diamond Supply, if you didn't know, they really use that teal color as well. So that's why it kind of makes sense. So if you look at the price of the shoe, right, when it came out in 2015, it was like $800, $1,000 for this shoe. And then now, if you're trying to buy it on the open market, it's going to be like 2.6, right? So definitely increased quite a bit. So I think they're going to take the magic of what this shoe is, kind of package it into the modern day for 2023, maybe turn it into an NFT, combine it with, Artifact Studios, and then it maybe will be something that really hits the market, right? And I feel like for this particular NFT, if it's an NFT, maybe it's not NFT, I don't know. That's definitely something that's going to be collectible as a physical product for sure. And if it is an NFT, I definitely think that's something that will probably hold value just because of the history and hype behind this collaboration or what has been done in the past. Now let's go ahead and move into a new meta coming up right now, and that's going to be art. So right now there's a whole new meta where a lot of artists are kind of creating like cheaper art, meaning like of more affordable prices. They're basically saying like, hey, there's not going to be any utility, but maybe if you burn it, something will happen, right? One of these guys is popping off. His name is Crease, but apparently he's also Vietnamese. So Crease is this artist that I found actually a long time ago, and his art really resembled X Copy. So he kind of been doing his own thing with these monster characters, and he has like a lot of smaller pieces before, and then he recently launched in January 2023 this collection called Proceed with Caution, right? So there's not too much information on the OpenSea. There's different colors of this thing. There's going to be different floor prices for the colors. I'm guessing it gets more rare as you go down, and then from here he's being very cryptic on what these things are all about. What people speculate is that there's going to be some kind of burning mechanic related to this. Maybe there's going to be another thing after that. You can see like there's going to be phase 2 and 3 are coming. What are these phases about? What is utility? Maybe there's no utility. Maybe it's just all about art, right? So what's interesting for me to observe, and I don't know if this is true or not, it's definitely just speculation, is that for an artist, they're going to keep putting out their work. But what I know about contemporary art is that there's always people in the background helping this art move, right? There's always people buying the art at cheaper prices, and maybe they go into the networks and try to increase the demand of this art because they already have so many assets. And if they make this guy into a star, then they were early on that art, right? And so I definitely feel that kind of vibe going on. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying like that's how contemporary art typically works, where you need a lot of supporters, right? It's not just how good the art is, but who is supporting your art and who's buying it. I would just say like if you're into like art and stuff, be very careful in what you're buying and definitely study up on contemporary art to understand how that game works before you just like FOMO in. But if you want to gamble and be a DJ, then be my guest. But anyways, the art is pretty cool. I like it, and we'll see how this plays out. And I'm guessing because the success of this project, I mean the volume of this is pretty crazy already, other artists and other teams are probably going to emulate or take inspiration from how they're capturing attention and how they're doing the different phases. Because if you think about it, it does take a lot of creative direction to decide to do this piece. Once you have the piece, you can just change the color and things like that. So it's not super hard to replicate it for another artist, right? So definitely keep that in mind. And typically what happens is when everyone copies something that works, it eventually gets played out, and then a new meta will arise after a couple months. Next piece of news that we have is Amazon is getting into NFTs. Based on my research, it's not like official, it's like anonymous sources say, but Amazon is gearing up to launch gaming focused NFTs and maybe other NFTs in the future. A lot of big companies, whether it's Nike, Tiffany and Co, basically every gaming studio nowadays, they're looking into NFTs, they're looking into crypto to see if this is actually an opportunity they should invest in. And maybe they won't invest like heavy in the beginning, but they're going to try, so that one day if it does become a big wave again, they're in the right position to take advantage of it. So Amazon getting into the NFT space potentially means that more people will get onboarded, maybe not right now, but possibly in the future, depending on if they have something worth buying. Next piece of news that we have is going to be Yuga Labs. So 10 years ago, there's basically this game that somebody came out with, and it's very similar to the Yuga Labs game, Dookie Dash, right? And you can kind of see like how it works over here. It resembles the game a lot. And as people look into this more deeply, it seems like all the code and stuff like that were available on GitHub. Yuga Labs apparently just kind of took a lot of inspiration from the code and the game and stuff like that and added a skin on top. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with like taking open source code and putting a skin on top. It's all about the end product at the end of the day. Some people are saying like, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing this. Some people are saying like, hey, you know, they ripped off this game and blah, 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 blah. It's all based on perspective. But again, it's all about the end product and whether or not the end user actually enjoys the game. Okay, so next news that we have is going to be Captainz, right? So if you didn't know already, a couple days ago, we dropped an interview with Ray, who is the 9GAG CEO, aka the CEO of Memeland. So if you want to check out that video, make sure to check it out on the Parallax YouTube channel. But just want to give you a quick update on the Captainz. Right now, it's sitting at a floor ETH floor, which is definitely pretty high, especially during this market. Volume on this is ridiculous, 9.4K. That's a lot of volume in today's market in Ethereum. That's going to be like 1.3 million. So definitely royalties is a big strategy for them when it comes to, you know, generating revenue on top of like selling these for 1 ETH each, right? So definitely they made a lot of money, right? So that's amazing for them. They can build more. What I thought interesting is they have this like slowly review mechanic where originally you had like the thing covered in the curtain, and then now there's gonna be different types. So there's gonna be the humans, which is the most common, shark, kraken, Kong, kaiju, alien. So just like punks have like the apes, the aliens and stuff like that, Artifact also had like robots and stuff like that. They're gonna have their own things, and it seems like the most rare is gonna be the alien. Cyber Kongs and kaiju kings were, you know, I think quite a big supporter in the Memeland, especially in the early days, and then they added their own, the shark and the kraken. So pretty excited to see how these are gonna look. I wonder if it's gonna be 2D pixel or if it's gonna be more 3D, because as you can see, these boxes are very 3D and like high quality looking. If you want to learn more about that ecosystem, check out the interview. It's a pretty good interview, pretty insightful as well. I think you'll learn a lot of things. I definitely learned a lot. So make sure to follow Captainz if you are interested. Okay, so the next project we're gonna talk about is what's trending right now in OpenSea. So as you can see, it's gonna be this Japanese, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but just call it iKehaya Pass. So what is it exactly? So I did a little more research into this, and it seems like Japanese NFTs are popping off because of a variety of reasons. But apparently this guy over here, he's the co-founder of Crypto.ninja NFT, along with this other person over here who's an artist. He's also the founder of ICL Japan, right? This is supposedly one of the largest alpha groups in Japan, which has around 1,000 people. So I suppose there's a lot of people supporting the projects that he comes out with because he is the founder of this alpha group after all, right? And so I suppose this pass is going to be related to his alpha group. You know, this person is also involved with Crypto Ninja Partners, which is, you know, pretty poppin' NFT project. It's interesting, right? I mean, look at the white paper. It's pretty basic, to be honest. Like if, let's say Western standards, if somebody came out with this, it wouldn't really mean too much. But because maybe the Japanese NFT market is like coming up and stuff like that, people are really into this. They're going to use this IP to do animations and things like that. They want people to build on top of the IP, right? So it's nothing new that we haven't seen before, but it's just applied to the Japanese market. My personal take on it after doing more research into Japanese NFTs, they have their own ecosystem. They have their own like unique characteristics. For example, like it's very shamed upon apparently that if you sell your NFT, so that's why everybody holds it. The taxes are higher and things like that. So people are more incentivized to hold it. So I feel like a lot of these guys who maybe, you know, understand the Western NFT market and they also understand the Japanese market, I feel like they're taking a lot of inspiration from what worked on already and they're applying it into Japan. And because maybe Japan is developing as an ecosystem and a lot of Japanese people actually don't speak English, and maybe they're not aware of what's already going on in the space, kind of replicate the older strategies and bring it into a different market. Very similar to like how, like I'm in Vietnam right now, right? Like a lot of people who are from America take things that are already working in America, they bring it to Vietnam, and it's like, oh my God, that's so innovative. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of that going on, which is not bad, right? Because you got to find opportunity where other people aren't looking. So I'm not hating on it. It's just how the world works in terms of finding open opportunity. Now, if you do want the latest information in the alpha and you want to join a community of people who are also into NFTs, make sure to pick up the Parallax Genesis, where you're going to be able to get access to our private Discord for holders only, where we're going to have free live classes, also recordings as well. You're going to get alpha, and you also get a lot of other opportunities like whitelist. So if you want to check that out, check out the Parallax Genesis, check our OpenSea, pick something you like. But if not, totally cool. And so with that said, that's everything we got to cover for this video, and I will see you in the next one.